أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. My condolences on this day of Ashura. Although we are leaving this day and it's almost over, for us we can go back to our homes, the comfort of our homes and families. Lady Zainab didn't have that opportunity. For her, the journey just began. Abu Abdullah did what he needed to do. He carried it out, this master plan, in the best of ways, so that from here onwards, Lady Zainab can do her part. Imam Hussein, if he had wanted to, he would have never been able to go to Sham and to fight Yazid and his army there. Fight Yazid face to face. It would have never happened. But this plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was executed in such a way that his blood was spilled in Karbala so that Lady Zainab could make her way into the belly of the beast. So the enemies of Allah thought that they were victorious on that day. But before you know it, Lady Zainab is delivering a sermon like her father Amir al-Mu'mineen in the court of Yazid, in front of Yazid. Imam Sajjad is delivering sermons there as well. No matter how hard they would have tried, they wouldn't have gotten this opportunity. But you see how Allah works, how Allah plans. Lady Zainab, Imam Sajjad, they made their way to the belly of the beast, and from within, they got the word out. People now know more about Ahlul Bayt. Oh, you're the Ahlul Bayt. Bani Umayyah had taught us that Ahlul Bayt equals Bani Umayyah, equals Muawiyah, equals Yazid. We thought these are Ahlul Bayt because they're from Quraysh as well. People didn't know much about Ahlul Bayt. Now they see for the first time, oh, this is the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is the grandson of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Ali ibn al-Husayn al-Sajjad alayhi salam. They got an opportunity to do that which Imam Hussein would have never gotten the opportunity. You see how this grand plan was carried out? It's so beautiful. So when they tell Lady Zainab, what do you think? How did God treat you? You think you're victorious? What did she say? She said, Ma ra'ayt illa jamila. Maybe one of the reasons that she might say this, that I saw beauty, is because you yourselves took us within your belly. And from there, we're going to destroy you from within. Bani Umayyah didn't survive that long after that. And if they were overthrown by Bani Abbas a little bit later, Bani Abbas overthrew them with the slogan of Ar-Rida min Ali Muhammad. That we're doing this and we're going to choose someone that Al Muhammad is happy with. Although they also were after their own interests and agenda. But at the end of the day, Islam has survived till today. Bani Umayyah, if they were not exposed, Islam would have been just a name, nothing else. So may Allah accept all of your azat today. I know it's been a long day. And the tears that you've shed for Imam Hussein. That feeling that we got today as they rose the head of Abu Abdullah on the spears, that feeling that nothing in this world is worth it really. Inshallah, Allah allows us to keep a little bit of that throughout the year. And we can solidify that and strengthen that and ensure that we have that feeling through constant obedience of Allah every single day. This good feeling that we have today, if we want it to continue, it won't just continue. A little bit less of it will be there if we persist in our obedience to Allah, continue our obedience to Allah, the wajib and haram of Allah. Or else it'll cease to exist again. Until next Muharram. Every year, Imam Hussein, it's like he throws a net out there. You know these fishing nets. When you throw a fishing net out into the sea, You catch fish, dolphin, lobster, crab, sharks, everything. Turtles get stuck in there. Everything. Abu Abdullah Hussein's net is different than others' nets. Abu Abdullah's net brings in everyone. Sinner, good, bad, Muslim, non-Muslim. It brings everyone in. Now some will fall out of that net because that's what they choose. But some will stay stuck in it. And what a net to be stuck in. The net of Abu Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam. We thank Allah for this tawfiq. I want to speak today a little bit, and I'm going to be speaking less so that they can recite the maqtal in English. I want to speak a little bit more about the theme that we had for this Ashura. Throughout these 10 days, off and on, I would sprinkle a little bit of this do not despair to the end of my lectures. But tonight I want to just focus on this a little bit. And for that, since we're going to be speaking about Allah and how we shouldn't despair when it comes to our sins in the face of Allah. If I'm going to speak about Allah, I can't speak and not have any references. So we're going to be going to Nahj al-Balagha, we're going to be going to du'as and other things to see what the Imams, how they look at it, inshallah. Do not despair, brothers and sisters. Was a noble theme that was chosen for these 10 days. Do not despair can't be used in the wrong way though. Do not despair, we can't take advantage of it that, okay, we're not going to despair, that means we can do whatever we like. We can't fool ourselves. We all know that's not how Islam works. But at the same time, we know that we mess up, we fall throughout life, the ups and downs. Sometimes we're vulnerable, sometimes we just make mistakes. Sometimes we don't even know why we made certain mistakes. Do not despair is for these types of people. That, hey, okay, mistakes happen, let's get back up. Now, today what I want to talk about is about one of those things that Allah is very sensitive about. If we can figure out what Allah is sensitive about, then, and what we watch out for that, inshallah, it shouldn't be too hard to eventually come back on the right path if we're on the wrong path. There's one thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants for Himself and Himself only, and He doesn't want anyone touching and getting close to that thing. If we make sure we don't push, I don't like putting it like this, but we don't push Allah's buttons. This is a bad way of saying it. But if we're careful not to push His buttons, then we don't have to worry too much, because that's what Ahlul Bayt will teach us. They're going to teach us, hey, if you mess up, this is how you have to talk to Allah. And you'll be fine. As long as we haven't pushed His buttons. Let's talk about that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants for Himself and Himself only. And anyone who gets close to it, His la'na is on that person. In Nahj al-Balagha, there's a famous sermon, Khutbatul Qasi'ah. Qasi'ah means disparagement, when you disparage, when you destroy something. In this khutbah, Imam Ali destroys shaitan. I want us to see what his mistake was. Shaitan was the one who was never forgiven, right? Why? What was wrong with him? What was that active ingredient in him that others have to be careful not to have? It says, Imam Ali starts the khutbah, he says, Alhamdulillah alladhi labisa al-izza wal-kibriya wa اختارهما لنفسه دون خلقه وجعلهما حما وحرما على غيره. And he goes on. Let me do the translation for you. He says, all praise is due to Allah, the one who wears the apparel of honor and dignity. Now here it says honor and dignity. Al-izz, you know what izzah means. All of us know. And kibriya, we all know what kibriya means. Greatness. Izz means honor. Kibriya means greatness. If you have clothing that you're wearing, can anyone else wear that clothing while you're wearing it? No. The khutbah begins by saying there is this clothing of kibriya and izzah that only Allah wears. And when He wears it, no one else can wear it. And He has chosen them for Himself. Kibriya and izzah is only for me. Yes, there are other things that I share with people. I am Jawad, I give. I would like my servants to also be Jawad. I forgive. I would also like my servants to forgive. These are things that it's okay, we can share with Allah. Of course, Allah is the highest level of it, but we can try our best to get as much as we can. But there's two things here that He says, I only have. I wore them. That means that you can't You have no share in it. Al-izz wal-kibriya. Now someone here might say, why is God so greedy? No, God isn't greedy. When you have 100 and someone else has 0, 100 is 100 and 0 is 0. I don't care if we're going to get offended. If I have $100 and you have nothing in your pocket, you don't have anything. Allah has, if a person understands Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they'll understand that, hey, we are mere as if shadows of Allah. Does a shadow have a real independent existence itself? No. If the person is not there, the shadow is not there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala versus all of creation is like the person and the shadow. We feel like we're there, and yes, we do exist, but our existence is so weak and so dependent on His, it's as if we're nothing. So if anyone's going to be big, it's Him. If I'm going to go to anyone other than Him, I'm going to fail myself, because I'm not going to get anything out of it. He has everything. Yeah, think about it. Like your dad owns everything, and then you're going to your friends for help. Your dad's like, fine, go, but you're not going to get much. It's all here. Just come to me. It's a reality. It says, I want izz and kibriya for myself. He has made them inaccessible and unlawful for others. Haraman, himan wa haraman ala ghayri. He has selected them for His own great self and has hurled a curse on those who contest when it comes to these things. Contest Him when it comes to these two. And I'm going to read it a little faster here now. Then He put His angels on trial concerning these attributes in order to distinguish those who are modest from those who are vain. Therefore Allah, He told them, He said, verily I am about to create for man from clay. Once I create him, I want you to do sajda to him. So He's telling the story of creation, Imam Ali. And did fall prostrating. All the angels fell in prostration except Iblis. His vanity stood in his way. His takabbur, his arrogance, his I'm a somebody got in the way. This is all an introduction to what I want to get to regarding do not despair. Consequently, he felt proud over Adam. You see, these are the key words. Izz, kibriya, takabbur, hamiyya. Pride. He felt proud over Adam by virtue of his creation and boasted over him on account of his origin. I'm from fire, he's from clay. Thus, this enemy of Allah is the leader of those who have takabbur. What's the wording that he uses? فَعَدُوُّ اللَّهِ إِمَامُ الْمُتَعَصِّبِينَ. Aduwullah, this shaitan who is the enemy of God, he is the imam of those who have ta'assub, asabiyya, that pride, that tribal pride. I'm somebody. It is he who laid the foundation of factionalism, quarreled with Allah about the robe of greatness. Give me some of that greatness, pulling on the robe of Allah. The robe, I'm wearing it, it's mine. It all belongs to me. Do you not see how Allah made him low on account of his vanity and humiliated him for his finding to be high? He discarded him in this world and provided for him burning fire in the next world. Why? What was the problem? Shaitan, how many haram things did he look at? How much haram music did he listen to? How much did he even backbite? How much did he lie? How much did he cheat and steal? I don't see any of that in his life, what they tell us. As a matter of fact, Imam Ali Nahj al-Balagha, he says that Shaitan worshipped Allah for how many years? 6,000, not 15, 6,000 years. Good guess, better than the rest who were quiet. 6,000 years, Shaitan. So it's all ibadah, good for him. But what you're supposed to get out of ibadah, which is that you don't see yourself anymore. You are dissolved in Allah's existence as if it's all Him, not me. Then what happens when Allah tells him, hey, I want you to do sajda, just one command, this guy can't. He can't listen. He doesn't heed. Allah told him to do sajda. He started coming out with logic and arguing with Allah. Allah, wait a minute. That means you think that you have, if I have 100, you have 1. You are 0, shaitan, Iblis. You know that. Starts acting like he has something versus the 100 that Allah has. Before you know it, he's kicked out of the Jannah. Khulud fin nar, all the bad stuff. What was wrong? All the haram that he did, he was full of ibadah, his report card. there's a problem. There's some things that when you step on those things, you're pushing God's buttons on those things. Al-kibriya, al-izz wal-kibriya. I'm going to give you an example now, and you're going to kind of get what I'm trying to say. Back when we were kids, when you're a kid, you're a kid. Some were more religious, some were less religious. I still remember one of the people that I knew, and they were Muslim and Shia. This is many years ago. Someone told them, hey, wearing a gold watch is haram. You can't wear gold. For men can't wear gold, right? He said, I'll wear it because I want to. Maybe if he had worded it differently, it would have been better for him. I don't know. But he said, I wear it because I want to. Okay, this is kind of bordering on that kibriya and izz. Shaitan, do sajda. I don't want to. Why? I have my own reasons. I'm made from fire. God didn't say do sajda because Adam is made from clay or fire or whatever. Here, you're acting as if you're somebody. There is no somebody. There's only one body, and that's Allah. You're kind of getting what I'm getting at, inshallah. If I'm going to even sin, two things are important. One, I let Allah know that I'm sorry. It's because of my weakness. Not because I feel like, hey, because I want to. Kibriya, takabbur. If I'm going to do it, it's because of my weakness or my ignorance, whatever. These types of things. And I'm sorry. And oh Allah, I'm going to acknowledge that I've been bad and you've been good. But oh Allah, I'm being a human being and you have to be the Lord that you are. If He hears that from you, He'll like it. And someone might say, hey, this is dangerous stuff because what if you're wrong? Well, we have to go to our hadiths, to our du'as. And since today is Ashura, and I say this every now and then, that our youth, they love Imam Hussein so much, but we haven't spent time for them trying to do a commentary on the dua of Arafah, for example, that Imam Hussein has. We love Imam Hussein, we don't know anything about what he said. Like the most famous saying of his might be the dua of Arafah. Who has actually dissected this dua? And it's not the people's fault, it's the ulama's fault too, if they're not spending that kind of time. These things have to be explained. There's a whole, maybe 10, 12 lines of Imam Hussein, he's speaking like this to Allah. He's not saying, oh Allah, I sinned, but because, I felt like, maybe it's okay this time. Maybe that. No, nothing like that. Or maybe you're wrong. No. He says, yes, I did wrong, and it was my fault, and I'm sorry. 1. 2, and you're so awesome. You're so good. I know you will forgive me. Let's look at this. I'm going to go through this very quickly. In this dua of Arafah, he says, وَإِنْ أَعُدَّ نِعَمَكَ وَمِنَنَكَ. If I count your ni'mah, your minan and minnat on me, all the favors, all the blessings that you bestowed on me, وَكَرَائِم مِنَحِكَ لَا أُحْصِيهَا يَا مَوْلَاي. I can't count them. And then he starts. First he talks about Allah. If you speak about anyone else other than Allah like this, you're in trouble. But when someone is ultimate perfection, then you can speak to them like this. There's no humility when it comes to Allah. In the 99 names of Allah, as a matter of fact, the 1,000 names of Allah in Dua, Jawshan Kabir, find me one of those that says, Ya Mutawadi', O humble one. Humility is for a person who knows they relatively are nothing. Relatively weaker than something else. But when you are the ultimate perfection, there is nothing, there is no naqs, there is no imperfection. Humility doesn't have no meaning there. Even our imams were humble. Why? Because they don't have the perfection Allah has. He says, أَنْتَ الَّذِي أَنْعَمْتَ. You're the one who blessed. أَنْتَ الَّذِي أَحْسَنْتَ. أَنْتَ الَّذِي أَجْمَلْتَ. Alhamdulillah, most of you know Arabic here. أنت الذي أفضلت أنت الذي أكملت أنت الذي رزقت أنت الذي وفقت أنت الذي أعطيت أنت الذي أغنيت. You made me needless of anything else. You're the one who sustained me. أنت الذي أقنيت أنت الذي آويت. You took me in. أنت الذي كفيت. Made me needless. أنت الذي هديت أنت الذي عصمت. You protected me. أنت الذي سترت أنت الذي غفرت. أنت الذي أقلت. أقلت means to like overlook something and forgive. أنت الذي أعززت. If I have any izzah, because you gave me, or else it belonged to you only. أنت الذي أعنت, you helped. أنت الذي عضدت, helped again. أنت الذي أيدت. أنت الذي نصرت. أنت الذي شفيت. أنت الذي عافيت. أنت الذي أكرمت. تباركت وتعاليت. How high you are. فلك الحمد دائما ولك الشكر واصبا أبدا. ثم. I said all of this, oh Allah, now let me talk about myself. The Imams are teaching us, hey, we know this person that everyone's in love with. We know him better than you, Allah. We know his soft spot. We're going to teach you. We're going to teach you how to talk to him. Sometimes you need something from somebody that's super important, and you know some of your friends know that person. You call them up. You say, hey, what is he like? What is he does not like? How should I speak to them when I go? Imams, they're holding the phone right now. They're telling us, hey, when you go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is how you talk. Oh Allah, you did all those good things. But let me talk about myself now. ثم أنا يا إلهي المعترف بذنوبي. First and foremost, I admit to my sins. Shaitan, did you admit to your sins? No, he didn't. Maybe if Shaitan had admitted to his sins, he would have been off the hook. He tried to fix it. Sometimes you want to fix something, you make it worse and worse. And just say it. I'm sorry. Show me one place in the Quran, brothers and sisters, that Shaitan says, I'm sorry. You don't find it. Not only do you not find it with him, you don't find it in the shayateen of this dunya. Fir'aun was drowning. Even when he's drowning, he says, oh, now I bear witness and I believe in who? In Allah, right? Your creator. He says, I believe in the God that the Bani Israel believe in. He just can't get over himself. That ego has grown too strong. He can't. أنا يا إلهي المعترف بذنوبي فاغفرها لي. Let's start now. أنا الذي أسأت. I'm the one who wronged. أنا الذي أخطأت. أنا الذي هممت. I tried to do bad things. أنا الذي جهلت. أنا الذي غفلت. أنا الذي سهوت. Sahut comes from sahu, mistakes. أنا الذي اعتمدت. أنا الذي تعمدت. أنا الذي تعمدت. I was the one who deliberately did things. It wasn't on accident. It was on purpose, Allah. You know, sometimes when you're dealing with normal people, you don't want to give them any points. So you hold back. You don't, even though something was your fault, you don't say it. Because you know if you say it, they're going to come at you even more, harder. With Allah, though, it's not like that. He says, I'm the one, I did it on purpose, oh Allah. I have no excuse. I'm cornering myself, oh Allah. I'm cornering myself so that you can do what you need to do. أنا الذي وعدت. I promised, but of course, أنا الذي أخلفت. I'm the one who broke my promises. Some of us, we make mistakes in life. We're like, I'm not going to do tawbah. Why? I'm going to wait till I grow up. Why? Because that's when I'll be able to control myself. No. Promise Allah. Of course, a true promise. Tell him, I'm going to try my best. Oh Allah, I'm going to try. And if you fail again, it's all right. Why? Abu Abdullah al-Hussein in Dua Arafah is telling Allah, I'm the one who promised. I am the one who broke my promise. And I'm saying it. I'm saying it with humility, though, of course. You don't want to sound like how I'm sounding right now. I'm sounding a little egotistic right now. You say it with humility. Oh Allah, I promise, I know, but I failed, and I know, and you know. أنا الذي نكثت. أنا الذي أقررت. أنا الذي اعترفت بنعمتك علي وعندي وأبوء بذنوبي فاغفرها لي. Forgive the sins, oh Allah. يا من لا تضره ذنوب عباده. Oh, the one the sins of his servants don't affect him negatively in any way. وهو الغني عن طاعتهم. You don't need our obedience. We need it for ourselves. فلك الحمد إلهي وسيدي. إلهي أمرتني فعصيتك. He goes on and then he says in the end, كأنك أغفلتني. You kept telling me to do certain things, I didn't listen. And it's as if you weren't seeing me anymore. أغفلتني. You forgot about me as if you had not forgotten about me, I mean, I really deserved you to punish me. Sometimes Allah is so flexible that we feel like maybe you forgot about me. وَمِنْ عُقُبَاتِ الْمَعَاصِي جَنَّبْتَنِي. It's as if you made me immune to the punishments of the sins. That's the vibe I'm getting sometimes. Imam Hussein says. This is part of, now I'm shifting to dua of Imam al-Sajjad in Dua Abu Hamza al-Thumali. The one, that long one that we never recite in the month of Ramadan because it's so long. Here he says, كَأَنَّكَ اسْتَحْيَيْتَنِي. Oh Allah, you let go, you let go, you let go, until it reached the point that it's as if you have istihya from me. Instead of me being ashamed of you, oh Allah, it's as if you feel, instead of me having shame in front of you, oh Allah, it's as if you are ashamed of me. I'm the one who's supposed to be ashamed, oh Allah. If someone asks, why should we not despair? This one line, these two words, كَأَنَّكَ اسْتَحْيَيْتَنِي, should be enough. It's as if you have shame and you feel ashamed before me, your creation. But let me tell you, oh Allah, you see, once again, that was Imam Hussein teaching us what to say. أَنْتَ الَّذِي أَنْتَ الَّذِي أَنْتَ أَنَا الَّذِي أَنَا الَّذِي أَنَا الَّذِي. Now here Imam Sajjad teaches us. He says, oh Allah, لَمْ أَعْصِكَ حِينَ عَصَيْتُكَ. When I disobeyed you, the moment I disobeyed you and committed that wrong act, I didn't do it وَأَنَا بِرُبُوبِيَّتِكَ جَاحِدٌ, while I don't believe in your lordship. وَلَا بِأَمْرِكَ مُسْتَخِفٌ. This is so important. This is so important. And I didn't do it with the feeling within me that it's not important what he says. Remember, I said that the kid said, I do it because I want to, as if he's a god. Here he says, if I do it, it's not like I'm not taking what you said seriously. What is it then? Oh Imam Sajjad, وَلَا لِعُقُوبَتِكَ مُتَعَرِّض. I don't want to put myself in that danger and make myself prone to your punishment either when I do something wrong in this life. وَلَا لِوَعِيدِكَ مُتَهَاوٍ. And it's not that I'm not taking your promises for the hereafter seriously. No, I believe everything you've told me in the Quran about, hey, there's a day coming that you can be held accountable. It's not like I'm not taking that serious either. All of this, then what is it? Oh Imam Sajjad, what is it? Of course Imam Sajjad doesn't sin. We can say he's teaching us. لَكِنْ خَطِيئَةٌ عَرَضَتْ. That's what it was. What was it, O Sajjad alayhi salam? It was خَطِيئَةٌ عَرَضَتْ. It was a mistake that happened. This might not fly in this world that we live in, between us and others. Hey man, I'm sorry, I broke your phone, but I didn't do it on purpose. He says, replace it. But with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's different. He says, لكن خطيئة عرضت. Is that an excuse for normal people? Hey man, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. He says, fine, no hard feelings, but could you get me another one? At least, can you get me another one? That justification won't work but with people, but with Allah apparently it works, or else Imam Sajjad wouldn't be saying this if it was going in vain, if it was pointless to begin with. What does Imam Sajjad say? لكن خطيئة عرضت. It was something that just happened. وَسَوَّلَتْ لِي نَفْسِي. And my nafs made it nice for me, fooled me regarding it. وَغَلَبَنِي هَوَاي. So once my nafs fooled me. It doesn't say shaitan fooled me, by the way. Those of us who curse shaitan all the time for getting us in trouble with Allah. He says my nafs made it look like it's something nice for me. So once it looks like something nice, and it's something that just happened, I committed that act. I did it. غَلَبَنِي هَوَاي. My hawa, my desire took over, and I committed that wrong act. So Imam Sajjad is very nicely illustrating for us the steps of when we fall into haram, how it works. وَأَعَانَتْنِي عَلَيْهَا شِقْوَتِي. And also I have some evil in me, O Allah. So my desires pushed me, and I have some evil in me. Or if I was all good, I would have put that thing aside. But hey, I have some evil in me. My evil, the evil that I have within me, helped me even more to commit that sin. وَغَرَّنِي سِتْرُكَ الْمُرْخَى عَلَيَّ. And one thing also is that you're too kind, Allah. That veil that you throw on me and cover and others don't see the bad that I do, that also kind of fooled me. At the end of the day, if no one sees, but you're watching, right? Brothers and sisters, it all goes down to this. If I sin in life, if I mess up in life, I'm not going to despair. Why? As long as if I do the wrong act, I make sure that I try my best to get back up on my feet. And I let Allah know that, Allah, it's a mistake that I made and I take full responsibility for it. Don't worry, brothers and sisters. Allah is not like that person who, once you tell them, I take full responsibility, they say, okay, now that you admit it, we're going to punish you this much at least. Apparently, that's not the case with Allah. Dua Kumail echoes the same concept. Dua Arafah, Sahifa Sajjadiyah, I don't know, Dua of Abu Hamza Thumani, all of these things point in one direction. Don't have takabbur, don't have kibriya. If you mess up in life, do not despair. And I'll end with this verse of the Quran. When Prophet Yunus got stuck in the belly of that whale because of a mistake that he made, it wasn't a haram thing. He called his people to Allah maybe 999 times. They didn't answer his call. And he really felt like there's no point anymore. But apparently Allah had the expectation that he had to do it 1,000 times. One more time you should have called them before leaving them. He ended up where? Because he's a prophet. There's high expectations there. He ended up in the belly of a whale. Did he say to Allah in the belly of the whale that, oh Allah, I called them 990 times though. They didn't answer. I came to that conclusion. Maybe even he was right in what he did, brothers and sisters. But Allah wanted to teach an extra lesson to him. Just to show him even more that, hey, I want you to become even more humble to me. What did he do? He didn't come out with any excuses. Please, we have to really take this away from Quran and these du'as and ahadith. He said, La ilaha illa ant. There is no Lord but you. Subhanak. You are perfect. Inni kuntu min al-zalimin. I was wrong. فَنَجَّيْنَاهُ. The Quran says. That's when we saved him. That's why even our ulama, some of the urafa, this dhikr unisi they call it, when you really want to go get somewhere spiritually, after you've reached the point where you feel like I'm not committing any more wajib and haram. One of the prescriptions that they give you, one of those dhikrs that they give you is this dhikr. Say this 1,000 times maybe in sajda. La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. Oh Allah, I'm being as good as I can, but I'm not what I'm supposed to be. Inshallah, keep me all in your du'as. I thank all of you for these nights. It was wonderful. And all the lessons that we learned from Abu Abdullah, inshallah, we're able to implement in our lives. The journey begins for us. The Husayniyun did their job. The Zaynabiyun, for them, the journey continues. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.